Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where we currently apparently have a civil war brewing. I mean, that's normal when you just start up the game in Imperator for whatever reason. We could strong arm and gain 72 gold. I'm doing it. So our stability is rough, no doubt about that. And that's fine. We're planning on chilling here for a while. I'm not planning on taking any additional territory for a while. We've got a lot. We need to deal with this aggressive expansion, and that's fine. So at this point, who is it that's angry? It is this guy. We're going to give him free hands. It's not going to be great. That'll bring him up to 30. I expected that to bring him to 38. It must be because of the strong arm. Okay. That's not necessarily ideal, but what else can we do? Well, we can try to make friends with him, and we definitely will do that. We are at 139 gold right now. That is not enough. We need 172 to get these built. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to let that gold continue to flow on in here. And we're going to get all this production done when we can. So that looks fine for now. The benefits of power. Yes, 5 tyranny is okay for now. We're going to want that tyranny to come down eventually, but for right now, this is okay. A minor addendum giving us 6 stability for 10 political influence. Okay, so political influence, if I remember correctly, in Imperator, political influence cannot go below 0, which means that doing this will actually only cost us 4 political influence for 6 stability. That's an incredibly good deal. Oh, it does go negative. Never mind. Okay. Well, that's okay. Apparently, the Civil War has gone away here. Fascinating. Well, we're still going to work on befriending this guy. So that is fine. We want to be nice and stable. We want our stability to be coming up, which, of course, is not great right now. We have a divine sacrifice ongoing, but we have some integrating cultures. Well, that's rude. Somebody just took our gold and our stability. Very rude indeed. Well, for now, I guess it's fine. We finish up a mine and making an impression. I don't want to spend political influence or stability or gold on this, to be honest with you. Let's not go crazy. We may not succeed in making friends with him. That's okay. He's not currently actively plotting a civil war for the moment. So that seems fine. What do we want to grab next? So holding income or local tax for 10 years from a couple of provinces. And we need both of these to move on. So we're going to have to take both. Let's take the local tax for now. We'll get that money invested. So that sounds good. We're going to need to get investments going for sure. And the question is this fort necessary? We have barbarians. They are up over here. Okay. So we have a military tradition that we can get as well. So we can get Levantine Kingdom or Maritime Traditions. We should probably go with Kingdom for now. Camel Discipline, Hostile Attrition, and Desert Combat Bonus. We'll take that. Okay. So there are barbs here. The question is, do we have a nearby levy? So the Canaanite levy is going to be up here. That's going to be a long ways away. The Arabia levy will be over here. Lower Egypt levy as well. We're going to have to use the Arabian levy. Now, where did they spawn at? Down here? Okay, that's noted. So let's bring them on up. It'll be fine. The barbarians are actually heading this way. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he spurned us. The barbarians are headed this way, which is mildly remarkable. There's only 1k of them as well. I'm going to disband this levy. I didn't mean to raise this one. I meant to disband this levy. First levy of Arabia. Why can we not disband this? Hang on, is the game very confused? Disband all levies. There we go. I was confused. That makes sense. So we can't raise our levies until November. That's okay. We don't want to. Unless somebody declares war on us, which is extremely unlikely with our alliance with the Ptolemaics and the Seleucids, So that's probably not going to happen. So we're completely fine with this. Our legitimacy is maxed. We're letting our AE tick down. So this all looks good. Now we do have an integrating culture here, Nabatean, and they're going to be done integrating very soon. That's very good for us because, yeah, that's going to be done incredibly soon. That's very good for us because that is currently reducing our stability by 0.2. So that alone will bring us positive in our stability. So I'm very happy about that. Now, do we want to go to centralized production here? Or do we want to continue to work on going to population? I think for now, we should grab centralized production into slave masters and then go back to production. So we're going to grab military artisans for the moment. That's not going to do too much for us, but we definitely do want to come down this way. And I mean, this would be good eventually too, but for the time being, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to get access to slave cities that are like peak efficiency. Now, what do we have down here for cities? We've got a lot of settlements, I'm noting. And basically no cities. There's the city of Juba over here. And this should probably be made the capital, which we'll go ahead and do. That seems fine. So that's okay. We've got a city here. There's basically, within this province, there's no city, correct? We're going to want to have like one city per province at least. So we're going to need to do some city founding down this direction. This isn't surprising. Yeah, these are all settlements all throughout here. And then this down here is probably also all settlements. Yeah. Okay. So we have basically no cities other than Juba outside of Judea. There is a city here, actually. So I guess that's reasonably fine. So we have a couple of cities overall. Not many. But that's definitely noted. So our aggressive expansion is going to be dropping. We definitely want that to happen. We're now positive on our stability since we're no longer integrating pots. So that looks good. These guys are up to 43% culture happiness. So that's, you know, better than Hebrew, actually. At least for now. Until their rights are no longer granted. And then they'll be exactly the same as Hebrew. So that sounds good for now. I'm not interested in integrating any additional cultures. So let's take a look at what we've got going on in our administration here, in our provinces. And I want to sort by religious unity. So this is looking reasonable here. Yeah, this is looking fine. I'm not concerned about any of that. It's going to take time to get all of these conversions done, especially since we don't have buildings to aid that. But that's understood. We need a new researcher for our martial advances, and this guy is the most skilled. This guy could potentially, well, plus 2.5% if ruler. But this scholar here, again, not going to be great. We don't have fantastic traits for it, so I'm just going to make it be this guy. Okay, so we now have a civil war brewing again, and is that because of this guy? There's a lot of people with low loyalty at this moment. Okay, so we've currently got to deal with this guy. Noted. I'm going to give him free hands. I don't like it, but we're going to give him free hands. So this is now 24.38, and at this point, we need to look at this guy. Okay. So he is upset about tyranny, strong-armed, power-based in country, rival of ruler, and paranoid. We can't remove rival because we don't have 30 political influence. That would be very useful, of course. I'm just checking to see about the Hyrcanid family here. I don't think this guy is somebody we can do too much about. However, maybe this guy. We can bribe him. Perfect. No problem. That did, of course, spend our political influence, which isn't ideal. We're going to want to get some political influence tech eventually, but for now, It's going to be what it's going to be. We do want to get another mine building here, so let's get going on that. We are up to 7 gold per month now. That's not too bad. A boar hunt? No, we're not going to go after a boar hunt for now. So this is all looking pretty decent. We just got to chill and invest at this point. That is our overall goal. Is just chill, get consolidated, let this aggressive expansion come down, and hopefully get this provincial loyalty dealt with. So a lot of this is going to be a bit problematic. We're going to need to get our accepted cultures and our accepted religions up in all of these areas. There's currently no conversion here. Why is that? I guess because the pops are just, there just aren't enough pops. So that's fine. We have these guys converting at 2.52% monthly. That's not too bad. So I think this is reasonably okay. Mostly what we need right now is our aggressive expansion to drop and our stability to come up, which our stability is increasing, but when the divine sacrifices expire, it will be going negative again in the current setup. So we need that aggressive expansion to drop enough to offset that. That's the idea anyway. Because we're not going to have the political influence to do another divine sacrifice. So that's definitely not going to be happening. But that population happiness is minus 8.24% from our stability right now, and that definitely needs to be dealt with. But you can see here, our aggressive expansion is minus 0.29 right now. We're at plus 0.13. So we only need to bring this up a little bit more for our divine sacrifices to be offset when that expires. My question is, when will that expire? Can we see that in here? No, it's probably in our nation somewhere. Let's see. Divine sacrifices. Oh, that's not going to be for another 3 years. So we're okay on that front. We don't have to worry about that. That sounds good. We're going to be able to get another construction going pretty soon. We're definitely starting to get our economy rolling here. I want to check in and make sure that our forts are down in maintenance. They are. So that is fantastic. I don't want to do another strong arm at this time because of our stability issues. I want to let our stability recover. So that'll be fine for the moment. Overall, I think we're in a pretty strong position here. We can start thinking about maybe doing some law changes, but there's not really any that we want to do, and we need to have the political power for it anyway. So we're going to have to let a lot of things just generally build up. I would like to get more political influence. Disloyalty of consort. Rude. Also ruler corruption, which isn't, you know, great. What is our consort being disloyal for? Let's see, where are we? We need to go into government here. Okay, so this guy's consort is her. What's she upset about? Tyranny, power base in country, not parent of primary heir. Let's just see if we can befriend her. Cool. So hopefully that'll work just fine. No problem in theory. We're not getting events on it. That's interesting. Ah, there we go. So this is going to be a little bit of personal gold and 5 tyranny. So the tyranny will reduce our aggressive expansion faster, but we don't want this tyranny to get up too high. I'm going to do it, but we're not going to be super happy about it. We're going to let that tyranny drop down eventually. That will need to happen. But it looks like we're not having an immediate civil war over it, so that looks good. This, of course, is our wife here in the disloyal characters. She lost a little bit due to tyranny, but it's not that big of a deal at this point. But she is mostly upset because she's not the parent of the primary heir, which does indeed make sense. I'm going to give her 25 gold, and apparently that spawned a civil war. Intriguing. Okay, so is this guy in this list of disloyal people? He is not. He would be if he was our rival, I think. Or he'd be very close. Okay, we're going to take the popularity and that'll be fine for now. So we're going to need to deal with the Civil War. This is mostly going to be this guy again. And that's understood. He's a pretender, power base of supporters, friend of rival of ruler. Who is it? Friends. Here we go. So, it's this guy. Gotcha. Well, I'd like to do something about that, but for the moment, we're not really in a position to do it. Okay. So, this is fine. I'm going to check in on this lad. What are you at? Okay, so tyranny minus 1.57. Yeah, give her a tiger. That'll be fine. Paranoid, minus 5. Rival of ruler and power base in country. So rival of ruler is the primary issue in a lot of these situations. Getting rid of that rivalry will cost us 30 political influence. Okay, we did manage to become friends with our consort, which is good. So that should be building us up some amount of additional political influence, in theory. This guy is the disloyal guy. We can actually force his resignation, which I'm going to do. So he's now very disloyal, right? But we removed a lot of his political power. So that is excellent. We need a new governor, and this will be down here in Arabia. And who do we want this to be? Actually, this guy would be probably fine. So that's okay. No problem whatsoever there. So we can see that our spouse is still in the disloyal character list. Ah, not parent of primary heir is now minus 15. Wait, but she just jumped up to 54. Okay. Sure. I guess that's fine. So our political influence should hopefully be improved in this next month's tick. Yeah, much better. No longer taking that 10% malice. I like it. That's very, very good. Next up, of course, we're going to be building another mine once we have the money. I don't want to strong arm with our current stability where it's at. Are there other techniques that we want to take here? I do not want to neglect research. Tutor needed and wife required, huh? Oh, this is our primary heir. Okay, yeah, we could definitely arrange a marriage here. This is fine. Sure? Yeah, let us arrange the festivities. That seems fine. I don't want to cut military supplies. We don't have a legion to do it with anyway. So our only actual options here are neglect infrastructure, which I definitely don't want to do. Strong arm, which I think our stability is too low to do right now. And neglect research, which I also definitely do not want to do. So we're not going to do any of that at this moment. Our stability is okay. Our aggressive expansion is coming down enough that it will offset that divine sacrifices when we end up losing that. So that is looking better. Yeah, that's looking quite a lot better. So that looks good. We're definitely going to be having our stability going up, which we really desperately need. So how are things looking in some of these areas? Provincial loyalty gaining. This is losing. This is losing. That's not surprising. This is losing. These are all of our most recently conquered provinces. So they are losing loyalty, but we're gaining loyalty in some of these. Some. Not all, but certainly some. So that looks okay. We are apparently on acquisition of wealth here. We should really probably be on cultural assimilation. So let's put that in for now. Up over here, I think it would be fine to be on, like, acquisition of wealth. So that's okay. This would be fine to be on acquisition of wealth as well. This up here should also be fine to be on acquisition of wealth. So that's basically all of our political influence gone. That's understood. But these down here, we should definitely be on religious conversion here. And we don't have the political power to change this over. So we're going to have to leave that be for a couple of months. A lot of these have been changed due to the changing governor, and that's obnoxious. We don't actually want these to be where they are, but it's okay. We'll get them changed. We have the gold now to get another mine building, and we're definitely going to do that. So that's wonderful. We are currently making almost 8 gold per month, and that's definitely an upgrade. We need that number to continue to increase, and it will, of course, go up faster and faster and faster exponentially. We're in the slow period of that right now, but this is looking pretty good. So our aggressive expansion is continuing to drop. I think we're going to have to chill for probably another episode, but that'll be fine. Sure. Do we want a Hebrew citizen to move into the Ptolemaic kingdom? Or we could just gain a tyranny, which is what I'm going to do. The Ptolemaic kingdom doesn't actually care about that. The tyranny is okay. It'll go away in like 11 months, so I'm not too concerned about it, but we don't want that tyranny to build up too high. For now, I don't think there's a major issue, but I do definitely want this to be on religious conversion. Call to arms from the Seleucid Empire. A defensive war against Bithynia Inferioris. I don't even see Bithynia Inferioris here. But we see these two are involved in the war. No, I don't see Bithynia Inferioris. It's apparently a city-state. Up over here? They don't need our help. We accept the offer, and we're not going to show up. They really, really don't need our help. Okay, so the fort maintenance is going to remain low. I want to make sure of that. And we're just going to leave everything pretty much as it is. Like I said, they do not need our help. So this guy is not very popular. Gaining popularity and stability here is really, really good. So we're going to do that. We are positive in our stability now. That's great. I want to check in down over here and see how our loyalty is doing. Okay, it's still not all that great. The Seleucids are calling us in against another one. I guess we'll accept that offer too. But again, these guys were in the other war, weren't they? It's separate wars. Okay. We're not going to show up and help. Like, that's not going to be a thing. Absolutely under no circumstances are we going to help them. Barbarians were raised up over here, though. Okay, now that we can do something about. And this means that we might actually go help the Seleucids. So we raise up this Canaanite levy. I'm not going to raise other levies, but we raise the Canaanite levy, and we see the barbarians heading in over here, right? The Seleucids are going to call us in their third war, and that's understood. But once we get rid of these barbarians, we cannot put down these levies until we're no longer at war. So we might as well help the Seleucids with them, is the thing. There's no reason not to. So we stack wipe these barbarians, no problem whatsoever there. And at this point, we should come out over this way and start helping them. So we know that these guys and these guys are in the war, right? We're going to march out over here. I am not at all convinced that we'll get there in time, but we'll send our primary levy over since we were forced to raise them anyway. So that seems reasonably fine for the moment. I said under no circumstances were we going to help them, and then we immediately hit circumstances in which we decided it was best off to help them. That's, you know, mildly interesting. For sure. So I want to get this switched over to religious conversion. We're definitely going to do that. And I want to switch this one too, but it's going to be a couple of months before we're ready to do that. I don't think they need our help, but we can't put down our levies anyway, so we might as well. We're currently on deception, which I think is probably fine. This is probably the highest effectiveness that we have. Yeah. So that sounds good. And we're just going to head over and see if we can get there in time to do anything. We probably can't. It looks like they have that under control before we even arrive. They do. They really don't need our help. I'm just going to head home. Like, this is over. completely and totally. They just need to finish their sieges, which are almost done already. So that sounds good. We really don't need to be there. Cool. Maybe we end up getting some gold out of it, but I highly doubt it. I don't think we're going to get a single thing out of this, but that's okay. We didn't intend to participate. So we're heading back home here. That is fine. We have broken 8 gold per month, and that's with our levies raised, so that's not bad. I like it. We are still positive in our stability, but this is due to divine sacrifices, and that is absolutely understood. So we have to take holdings income plus 10% at this point, and then that'll bring us down to that import value, which is fine. These 2 wars are now over, which is deeply unsurprising, and the only war left is this one, and they just need to finish their siege. That will happen very, very soon. Do we want to ease these shortages? I don't want to spend political influence on it, is the thing. 31 gold isn't that bad. We'll replace the stockpile. I'm not happy about it. I would rather invest that money in buildings, but here we are. So we're just waiting on this siege to end to be able to put down our forces. And that'll be absolutely fine. So our political influence is ramping up. We definitely should get this moved back over to religious conversion. There we go. Everything is now pretty much where we want it to be, except I want this to be on religious conversion. We're at 100% cultural and only 67% religious. So let's get all of these on religious conversion. And Sinai here is actually at 100 and 100. So I would like to move this as well. We don't quite have the political influence to do it, but I'd like to move this over to like acquisition of wealth. So we'll do that as soon as we have the political influence here in like 3 more months. Actually, like 2 more months. No, like 3. Because it's going to be 3.75 to get that changed over. So that is understood. We just don't need to be on any sort of conversion whatsoever up here. And we'll get that changed. So yeah, 0.99 per month. That's not too bad. We just need 1 more month tick to be able to change this. I don't... Well, actually, what's our decimal? Yeah, we don't have enough. 3.75 is what we need. And we currently have somewhere over 3. So that's noted. Just waiting for this month tick. There we go. Now we change this over to acquisition of wealth. Beautiful. So that'll be fine, putting us at 8.08. And of course, we should have disbanded our levies. There we go. Looks good. No problem. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode will probably be another chilling episode because our aggressive expansion still needs to drop. Our stability is going down at this point, which was expected, and it's not going to go down very much. So this is reasonably fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.